What's up guys, welcome back to On the Brick. Today I have a little bit of a different video for you. Last night I hit 15 subscribers, and you know what? That's pretty awesome. So I thought about making a video where I tell you 15 facts about myself. To start off with, my real name is Jonathan. Or John, just Jon. Either one of those is perfectly fine with me. Number 2 then would be that I am actually 26 years old. Actually, at the time of making this video, I'm only 25. However, my birthday is right around this time, so I might as well just say I'm 26. Number 3, in case you weren't able to guess it with any of my videos thus far, I am a huge Star Wars fan. And when I say that I am a huge Star Wars fan, I don't just mean, oh look, I like the movies and the games. I mean, I know a lot about Star Wars, so much so that the people who normally say they know a lot about Star Wars get surprised by how much I know. If you've ever seen any of Star Wars Explained videos and how he goes to like the conventions and does the quizzes, yeah, that's the level of Star Wars that I'm at. I can tell you the smallest background characters, the smallest background details. I probably know too much about Star Wars, and honestly, if I could make a living knowing about Star Wars, then I would be fine. For number 4, Star Wars isn't the only thing that I'm a fan of. I actually also significantly love space. It is one of my favorite things in life. I've been studying astronomy in one form or another ever since I would say about the 4th grade is when I really got into it. I'm a fan of pretty much all things space. I love learning about all the different discoveries we make, facts about planets and stars and galaxies and everything like that. But I also have a huge love for rockets. In fact, even though it was one of the worst designed rockets out there, the space shuttle is actually my favorite, and I have quite the collection of them. On the topic of my favorite things, number 5 would then be that my favorite sport is actually soccer. One of my first instances with sports was watching the 2006 World Cup with my parents. Of course, there was a lot of soccer on the TV before then, but that was the first moment that I really just fell in love with watching sports. However, soccer is not the only sport that I like. I am actually a huge fan of both American football and hockey, and on the occasion, I can watch a game or two of baseball. It's just that my personal favorite team kinda sucks. So speaking of my favorite teams then, number 6 would be who they are. In the world of soccer, my favorite club team is Barcelona from Spain, shortly followed by Boca Juniors from Argentina and the Colorado Rapids from my home state of Colorado. That's a bonus fact for you there. In the world of American football then, of course, my favorite team would be the Denver Broncos. And if you haven't guessed it yet, then my favorite hockey team is the Avalanche, and of course my favorite baseball team would be the Colorado Rockies, who, like I said, aren't really the best. Even though they've had some success, they really kind of aren't. Switching subjects for number 7 then, I am actually a writer. I have been writing for the last 13 years, and though I don't have anything published at the moment, it is my dream to one day, and one day soon, get published, as I actually have a book in the works right now that I would love to get out there and love for the public to be able to read. I wrote my first book at the age of 8 and never really stopped. I mean, of course, back then, that book was just about 5 or 6 pages, and probably had 100 words in it, but it spawned my love for writing, and I've grown ever since then to write the stories that I tell today. And speaking of things that I've done, in number 8, I've actually been to 7 different countries, or I should say I have visited 7 different countries, and I've been to 8. I did spend about 4 hours in a Japanese airport one time, but I can't really count that for obvious reasons. However, the countries that I have been to are Canada, America, Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Argentina, Taiwan, and the Philippines. Now, if we go back to the list of my favorite things, when it comes back to Star Wars, my favorite character is Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars and Rebels. When I first really started getting into LEGO was around 2008 when the Clone Wars came out, and the Clone Wars is a huge reason as to why I love LEGO so much, because there were so many awesome sets that came out at that time that I was able to get, and my love for LEGO and Star Wars just grew. And of course, Ahsoka Tano being one of the main characters of that show, well, I just like her. She's a really cool character. Okay, but seriously, on a side note, we need to know what happens post-Rebels, and if she finds Ezra, like, Dave Filoni needs to get on that right now. My favorite LEGO set is going to be what number 10 is, and that is the original UCS Y-Wing. That was one of the first UCS sets that I ever saw, and I actually fell in love with it because, fun fact, the Y-Wing is my favorite Star Wars ship. I have all of the Y-Wing sets except for the Clone Wars one, ironically, but hopefully again sometime soon I can pick that up. And a bonus fact is that my oldest LEGO set is the original Y-Wing that came out. Not the UCS one, but the one that came out way back in 1999. For number 11, I actually own 21 different Star Wars UCS sets. And I own 23 overall, as I also own both the UCS Tumbler and the UCS Helicarrier. In fact, it's easier to tell you the sets that I don't own, which are the Yoda and Darth Maul bus, original Snowspeeder, and X-Wing. I don't own either version of the Death Star playsets. I did at one point, but got rid of them as I really wasn't using them for anything, and as a display piece, I just didn't really like it. Same thing with the Sandcrawlers. I don't own either version. I did own the second version, but maybe one day I'll tell the story of why I don't actually like the second version of the Sandcrawler and got rid of it. I also don't own the Ewok Village or the new Star Destroyer, just mainly because of the price tag on that one. Also own a few unofficial UCS sets, all of which will probably be displayed on this channel at some point. But for those of you who are curious right now, the ones that I own are a Nebulon B frigate and a Lucrehulk / droid control ship. At some point I hope to get a Venator, the Invisible Hand, and one case's Monarch and Executor. Also, another bonus fact, the first LEGO set that I ever bought for myself with my own money was actually the UCS Death Star 2. I took a family trip to Chicago and bought it from the LEGO store there. At the time, it took me 3 days to put together, which was a lot back then. Número 12 es que puedo hablar español, no es tan bueno, pero sí lo puedo hablar. Eso es porque mi familia es de Argentina y entonces crecí hablando los dos idiomas de inglés y español. Si no puedes ver, yeah, mi español, but my English is great. At number 13, I have a special fact in that I actually used to work for LEGO. I worked there for just about a little over a year before a few complications set in. Again, maybe at some point I'll actually tell that full story. But what matters right now is that I used to work there, and it was actually a really, really fun time. For number 14, it's that I love animals. I actually have 2 cats of my own. I have Cece, who loves to get in the way of me filming and is actually currently sitting behind me as I record this, and Sirius, who loves to get in the way of everything else but is a giant fluff ball. Technically I have 6 dogs, but they're not with me and they're technically not mine, but again, maybe one day I'll tell that full story. I would love to own hermit crabs one day. I don't know what it is about them that I just find them absolutely adorable and would love to own a bunch of them. I've always wanted a ferret since I was young, but my favorite animal is an elephant, and I know it's not really possible to own one of them, but you know, it's kind of one of those like pipe dreams of mine. The record, if I ever did own an elephant, I would definitely keep it somewhere like a conservatory or like somewhere where it's in a good environment, and definitely not like at a house or anything like that. Just want to make sure that's clear. You know, I love the animals and I want to make sure that they are in the proper place. Finally, for number 15, even though I've thrown out a bunch of extra facts, but number 15 is that I sincerely and truly appreciate every single one of you. Every single person that takes the time to watch these videos, to like, to comment, and to subscribe. I really do appreciate it. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time in my life, and the more of you that watch this, the more of you that like these videos, the more of you that comment, and especially the more of you that subscribe, allows me to continue doing this. And so sincerely, I do appreciate it, and I hope that you will stick around and watch more of my videos. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.